live. I had to delete the other. It kept reconnecting. There was a Bluetooth issue in my car. I didn't realize my phone was hooked up to the Bluetooth. So here I am. I've left Hibbing, Minnesota. I'm pretty sure, I think I passed Keewatin. Should be coming up on Nashwauk pretty soon. I graduated from Nashwauk back in 1983. Got a brand new school, K through 12. They're going to be demolishing our high school and elementary school, moving on with new stuffs. I am on my way to go to little past, it's McGregor, Big Sandy Camp. I have to pick up my grandson. He worked at the camp this weekend. It's about an hour and 12-minute drive each way. When I took this trip on Friday night, there was no visibility, steady snow, ice, plows hadn't been out, so there was basically one lane down the middle. It took me a long time to get there and a long time to get home. But safety first, and well, here I am. I wanted to share a little bit of the beauty that we have in the winter. It's a little different. It's kind of white and gray and different hues of green and blues mixed in. It's kind of surreal, especially when you've got a snowstorm coming on. Get the Millennium Falcon effect when you turn your high beams on. Snow was coming so much, high beams, they didn't help. There was so much fog. Grateful to be making this trip in the daytime. Well, hello, hello. I can see when people pop in if they say something, but I don't know who you are or what you said. It's just I see movement on the screen. I'm a real, I don't know. I'll look at it on the replay. How's that? We're about 3.5 hours northwest of Minneapolis. And yeah, so much of me is so torn. Just looking at humanity in general. So I'm kind of glad I get this 3-hour block to decompress from everything and just enjoy where I am in the moment. Because you just never know. Oh, it's beautiful. I have a wide variety of ages and stuff in my channel and subscriber base. I tend to, I'm not promoted for children. That's a biggie for me. I kind of like grown-up talk. But I do understand the importance that if you're a young person and you're wanting to learn or experience and see different points of view, I think you should be able to. But do it safely. A lot of what I promised myself, okay, that when I was right into the reach of being able to be monetized, I would start taking all of this a little more seriously. A lot of what I've done the past year is I have been playing around with different types and format and content and shorts, pre-recorded, live, a little bit of everything. And I'll probably continue to be a little bit all over the place. But the one thing I said I would do is when I got to this point, I'd set a little schedule, kind of have a regular every other day, every week, whatever it is. But I'm going to set it because right now we have 376 subscribers. I need 500 for the first level, 1,000 for the second. Just on the 4th, I just got reported into the studio that I have 1,001 viewer watch hours. I need 3,000 for monetization. So the next 125 people, that's going to be the math that gets you there, just so you know. If you're a small channel like mine, you kind of learn a little bit along the way. And so within the next few weeks, I'm going to be reaching that goal of monetization. And that's pretty damn exciting, let me tell you. I figured out how I want to do my channel and what I want to do. And it basically revolves around 3 things. And it's the things I like when I'm exploring channels is I'd like to be educated or educate. I like to give tips and receive tips. So educate, entertain. I love to laugh. I like to have fun. Everybody's going to make mistakes. There's going to be cringe-worthy stuff, things someone could clip, and who knows what they'll do with it. But that's the entertainment value. I'm going to be entertained by my mistakes as much as I'll entertain you. And the third E that I keep in mind as I'm doing this is enlighten. Oh, I like to have a little bit more in my life than just knowing something. I like to feel things. And I know, I'm very aware that other people can elicit feelings. You can feel things when you hear other people. And so I want to provide some of the things I look for. And so I think that's going to be a good starting point for us in our little community that I'm, building. And we're going to see where this goes. I am not ever going to be everybody's cup of tea, let me tell you that. But, enter, be prepared to be entertained or be the entertainment. So here I am. I am driving down a county road headed to Big Sandy Camp down in McGregor. There's a couple of different ways you can go to get there. This is the one that I kind of prefer headed down. Going back, I normally try and end up more on 73, which brings me right into Hibbing. Swan Lake, this is awesome. Oh, I'll have to maybe turn the camera when I get towards one of the bigger lakes, so you can see all the fish houses out. There were quite a few over at Swan Lake. I could probably count about 15 as I passed. There is a joy and a different type of peace to live up where I live. We're about an hour south of Canada, hour and a half northwest of Duluth. Like I said, 3.5 hours north of the cities. To get a cheap flight, I've got to pay a $50 transportation for groom and go to a park and ride in Duluth, take me right to the airport, or I got to drive it myself. So coming in and out of my area, you got to want to be here or end up here. That's kind of the way it is. But once you get here, let me tell you, this place is awesome. We have so much of everything. everything and anything, and you can be left alone, all at the same time. Oh, rumble strips in the middle. That was the challenge, coming down this road. I was right in the middle. It was, we didn't get out of there till 9, so, yeah, 9:30 at night. So yeah, imagine this, with the Millennium Falcon kind of snow in your face, lightning speed all around you. Watching for deer. I saw 8 deer total on that trip. It's a little different. Quiet. You know, think about it. We don't even have airplanes that have, you know, there's like 2 flights a day in and out of Hibbing. You know, we don't have regular use of our airspace the way larger cities and communities have. We're not really on a lot of the direct flight plans. Even though Hibbing, Minnesota was the beginning of the Greyhound bus, it all got started there. Transportation can be challenging if you don't have a car. We do have curb-to-curb service for our bus. You kind of have to call a couple hours or 24 hours ahead of time, but they will pick you up at your house and take you directly to your destination. We don't really have there are bus stops, but even then you have to let them know where you are. It's not, they say they routinely stop there, but I've never really seen them stop unless they've had a call. It's kind of weird, but it's also cool. It's a lot more we have 25,000 people within 4 cities and 2 townships. Nashua, Keewatin, Hibbing, Chisholm, which I lovingly call the Chicken Run. We've got a county line going down it, so we're Itasca and St. Louis County, and we're furthest from our county seats, respectively. So we're kind of victims of logistics, but we've got our own wonderful community. It's the type of place where, you know, if you're stuck on the side of the road in town, or, you know, people will help you. And I love living where I live. Now, they will help you on the side of the road, like getting, but not as easy finding a ride. Smaller communities, a lot of different, it's not cliquish, but it definitely has different class structures built within it. You don't really notice it at first, but it's there. Kind of disappears in the midst of tragedy. We've had our share up here. There's a lot of people within the hockey community still grieving the loss of Adam Johnson, who was killed on the ice in England. And you know, it's we don't forget. It's not like we talk about a lot of the glory days or gory days, however you want to say it. This little girl who's been missing for decades, Leanne Warner, sorry. I remember they called her Beaner. I think that was her nickname, Bean. I can't remember. But that was in Chisholm. There's various unsolved and creepy things, but it's home. It's ours. I know I'm just rambling on my little road trip here. Just kind of think it's important to let people know that no matter where you are or what your lot in life is, and I mean that lovingly, a lot in life isn't necessarily you have nothing. I know people who are rich beyond anything I could ever think of. And they are so lonely and lost and scared. And the humanity really shines through in the struggles that they're going through. Things I never imagined. People with resources. I've been guilty. I've been guilty of thinking that people that don't have problems. So that's the thing, humanity. Being able to share that honest, real part. Kind of like I'm doing right now, just rambling in my car. Contemplating not my lot in life, my place in life, but my spot in the future. Where am I wanting to take all of this that I've got inside of me? I have always known there are big things for me in my life. I've always known the type of future I would have if I only allowed myself. If I only dared to talk. If I only dared to share that there's hope. And there's life and death and crap and struggle, but there's joy and beauty and friendship and peace and calm in the midst of all of it. I know a lot of people. I know a lot about a lot of people, but I don't have friendships or relationships with hardly anyone. That's kind of weird when you think about it. I can shoot a message to 4 different people right now and be scheduled to be on somebody's channel within a week. And I think that's really cool that I have people that want to share that part of their life and their time with. Because for a lot of them, that's their business, their livelihood. And I'm honored with the fact that they would share their time with me. And it's weird to think that you can be nothing and be everything all at the same time. 2 things can be right. Because most of the time I'm just Kim. I don't know. I'm just Kim. I tend to be the fall guy, the punching bag, the person someone can blame all of their things on. Exes. I don't have many, but the few I have in my life, I'm the one that was to blame. It's really interesting. Even how their families turned against me, especially the second husband. He abused my daughter. It happened one time. He ended up in a military brig. I didn't divorce him because, I was acted Mormon, and my patriarchal blessing told me all kinds of very specific things, and it took me a couple of years to figure out exactly who he was, and I divorced him. And when I divorced him, people turned against me. Turned against me for leaving him. I was evil. My third marriage, he didn't even tell his family we were married, and we were married for 14 years. We were just a breakup. We were a long-term relationship that ended. But I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. He's this hardened sack of shit lying who never, I'm sorry. That had nothing to do with me. The fact that he made that choice. Wasn't aware of it till after we divorced. So that's not a reflection of my character. It's a reflection of his. But I allowed these things to happen. I allowed myself to be the fall guy. I allowed myself to take the blame. It wasn't worth going to war over. It's okay. I can be the bad guy against someone with low character. It saddens me, some of the things. My first marriage, yeah, that was weird. That was weird. It was short. I was young. I should have gone back home to Minnesota and accepted I couldn't live in California on my own. And instead I told a guy I loved him and we got married. And he was after me for quite a while and I wasn't really interested in him. Our first time we had sex was on our wedding night. And I did grow to love him because he was a cool person. He had a lot of amazing good qualities. But I can also understand the reasons why, yeah, that was a huge mistake on my part. And I never should have taken advantage of a human being that way. I never should have. And I told him. I mean, did I take advantage of him? I told him before. I mean, there were mistakes made all over the place, but in the end, I'm the bad guy. I didn't love him enough, and I gained weight, and he was ashamed of me in a lot of ways, the same way his dad was ashamed of his mother. She never remarried. She had loved him so much. But, not playing a blame game in all of it, but looking at the realities of the choices I made in relationships. Because I made relationships based on the fact that things were forever. From being raised Mormon since I was 2.5, 3 years old, choices, everything was forever. Nothing was temporary. Everything had a huge effect. At least that's what I was taught, and that's what I believed and thought. And those were so many stresses inside my poor body and mind. Serious, so many. Because the real world isn't permanent like that. Most things are very temporary. Look at a one-night stand, There's so many things. A good dessert. It's not going to be on your hips forever. But my way of thinking, it made me where I was never really suitable for relationships, if that makes sense. Yeah. Which is why I have discovered I am so much better being single and not having those romantic relationships. It's like, I don't know if I'm too logical or been through too much or realized it was never something I desired, but something expected of me. Not quite sure. And I don't really need to figure that out. I just know going forward in my life, those aren't my intentions. I'm not looking to be coupled up. I want to find people to partner with. I want to find people to share, resources and job duties with in promoting my community and my business and taking everything I've ever given to someone else and giving it to myself. All of the money, every little $20, $10, everything I had ever given and done at no cost to the world, because my world didn't revolve around money. It couldn't when the celestial kingdom was at hand. Money was nothing. money was so insignificant to the prospect of that type of eternity. And without having that holding me back anymore, I'm able to continue to provide that to the world and to the people around me, but also realize the cost. And there are people that will help in that cost. When I move forward and I rent this new space downtown, it's 3 times the space I have, and so we're going to be able to do little events and have little cooking classes, or have more than 2 people for a crochet class, because I just don't have the space. And all of it's going to be shared with you here on the Tuba U. And that's what's going to be fun, being able to share this experience of me being able to show what happens when it's not really embracing commercialism, but in a way it is. Or capitalism. Well, commercialism. You have to learn how to be whatever type of product you want when you're on YouTube or social media. So there is a little bit of commercialism here. But I'm pretty sure you and I will all figure this out and kind of have a blast as we do it. So in the comments, give me some tips. What's a class you'd like to have or do? I know how to make homemade dolmadas. I know how to make lumpia. I know all different kinds of Jewish food. I spent several years learning about a heritage through their food. I wanted to learn about Greece, and so I started studying Mediterranean food and why they use the spices they use, or just how their dishes came to be. And what I know in the Mormon community, a lot of people know we have funeral potatoes. It's a common dish that's used at funerals and potlucks and different things. Other cultures have the same thing. And I have just been so enlightened and educated and entertained by learning those things. So I did it for Greece. I did it for Korea. South Korea specifically. I did not venture much into the North Korean food, although it's on my list. I did... Oh, and I've buried things in my yard. I've done the whole thing. Yeah, Oh yeah, we try and do it as natural as possible, kind of old school, and that's, the fundamental Mormon in me. Doing more by hand. So anyways, we've got the Mediterranean, Jewish. Yes. That is the one I haven't just finished. I've just kind of drifted out of, because I was doing it. I stayed in that one for, I think, 7.5 years. And there's 2 really amazing Facebook groups that have helped me with anything and everything. During COVID, I had the opportunity to do a virtual Shabbat. And oh my goodness, it was so wonderful. I'd made my own dishes and was able to join in with a family. And they shared that experience with me. Turkey. I've got a couple people in Turkey that are really trying to encourage me to do some of their food. And of course candies. Hard candies, baking, breads, you name it. I just tend to, I don't know. There's so much you learn about people through their food. And I think that's true of anybody. You really do learn about them as an individual. And that even goes for the people who eat out all the time. They like their own types of restaurants and dishes, and sometimes eating out is more cost effective if you have a palate that likes a lot of variety. Not everybody is like me and has the skills or tools or whereabout to make things like that. With my crochet, I use a lot of diagram patterns versus written patterns. I listen to, my favorite crochet channel is in Poland. So I'm actually learning bits and pieces of Polish. At a minimum, I know the different words for the stitches. But she tells stories when she crochets, so oh my goodness, I'm having a blast just imagining so much of what she's saying. I get the gist from using different apps or looking different words up, but there's so much I will not, it's lost in translation. And I'm sure that's the way it is for a lot of my viewership, because 80% of my viewership is in Turkey and all kinds of other, Istanbul, a different, Peru, countries that are not what I expected. How about that? It's like people are as curious about me living up here and doing my tiny little life as I am about the channels that I watch. And I'm learning how to be more active in the chats. I get judged horrendously. Let me tell you, I do. I get judged and I laugh my ass off. Nobody gets to pick how I heal or what I want to learn or know or gain. And you might not like some of the same things I like, but you don't know what I like or what I'm there for. And you don't need to know. It's mine. So you will see me all over the place within different true crime books, religions, sociology, psychology, kind of almost anything. Shadow work. I've been reading a lot about shadow work as far as a process of healing or growth or awareness. Ugh. I don't know. The reason I look into it is because it kind of terrifies me. It's like, oh my God, could I do something like that? Could I walk through some of those darker parts of me and accept them? Or at least just experience them, not let them be scary anymore. Not sure. Not sure. So, since I'm not reading the comments right now because I'm driving, everybody put out where you're from. Are you having some good weather today? Are you enjoying being you right now? Just in this moment. And say, I'm okay being me. You don't have to change anything right now. You don't have to accept anything. You don't have to do anything. But say, I'm just okay being me. And I'll help you out with the next thing. Because the next thing is, you got to face it. In the box. Not all the time. And that's okay. Because you're not any different than anybody else. And anybody who wants to think they are, that's kind of maybe something they are working on. We don't know. I think the only good thing I ever learned from being raised Mormon was I learned that it wasn't my place to judge. That was God's place to judge. And that wasn't even going to happen until Christ returned, and then there's the judgment day. That doesn't even happen until after the millennium. So see, the actual process of when that would happen and all of it was so out of my reach, control, concepts of. And that helped me. That helped relieve me of feeling that I was responsible to judge someone else. Because you have to take on the responsibility if you're going to judge. Cause and effect, there's certain things that happen. There's things that happen from not judging. But for me, it's been a lot less to try and be open-minded and develop an attitude of, you're not taking advantage of me because I'm willing to give. It's a different concept. So many people, I don't judge, I don't do this, so you would think I'm easily taken advantage of. And I am and I'm not. I have the willingness to give, so what you do with it and your intention, how you got it, that's just only going to indicate what my future interactions with you might be. The initial interaction, man, I can't take it on what anybody else says or believes or does. So judge, opinions, critique. Everybody's got their own definition of these words, and different languages and countries have it too. I could be in England and say that exact same sentence. And it can be taken so differently. I love that. To be honest, I love that about life. There are so many amazing variables. And I have been pretty lucky that I have had some negative things, but those negative things always seem to be associated with my romantic involvements. So, am I taken advantage of when I love in a romantic way? Yes, because I put all of me aside. I do. I have. So I will reiterate and make it very clear. I'm not looking for any of that. Love me from afar. I had someone say, oh, I'm in love with you. I'm like, oh, please keep it from afar. Check with me another 5 years. Might change my mind by then. Right now I'm enjoying this though. This. I just drive down the road. If I want to jam to the tunes, I could. Trying not to because of the restrictions of copyright. Oh, I could sing you a Spanish Christmas carol. You ready? Let's see. How do we start it? Cascabeles, cascabeles, música de amor, dulces horas, gratas horas, juventud en flor. Cascabeles, cascabeles, qué felicidad. Tú los otros que nosotros, qué felicidad. Nos amos en intriga, que agria, por favor. Se amo en intriga, que agria, por favor. Ah, cascabeles, cascabeles, música de amor. Tulosaurus, Gratosaurus, Juventuren Flo, Cascavelis, Cascavelis, que felicidad. Tulosotros, que nosotros, que felicidad. There you go. I will learn that in any language. I'll put it out there. Jingle bells? Oh yeah. Fun one to add to a repertoire. Or, you know, whatever cool little song your country has. You put it in the comments when it's done, and that'll be awesome, and then I'll see it. If you put it in the comments now, I might or might not see it. I'm still learning how to save and set up all that stuff. I'm on the mobile, so I'm just not quite sure if I did the right settings. I did the one to turn on chat, not sure about having it on the replay. But, like I said earlier, with getting more serious about this, those are the things I'll be learning. I have amazing support, and that's what's wonderful. There are channels that's what they're there for. Tuber chat is amazing. You can just watch any episode, and they support hundreds of creators, and it's Tuber chat. Absolutely check them out. And The Source, he's in Hawaii. He supports all kinds of small ones, and his new thing this year, he's already got a schedule for the whole year. Monthly themes. He is so organized, and I'm so honored and blessed to be a part of his little world. Been following him since before he was monetized, and I'm so grateful to help support what he does within his community. And this is where I learn and see things I might have never even thought of to look at. And I can't even begin to tell you all the foreign ones because I'm terrible at pronouncing them, and I would not do them justice. So keep watching the channel, and I'll do a post, and I'll screenshot a bunch of them for you. You don't have to speak a language to hear what they're saying. Isn't that unbelievable? How you can learn and grow with them. It freaks me out. I just love it. My name is Kim, middle initial D, Heye, Heye. I am monetized on the Book of Face, and have been for some time. Crossing over to YouTube is different. I've had to learn a lot, but I'm going to take everything I got and just keep building. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to go do more with like TikTok and all the others. I have stuff that goes to Instagram automatically. Let's think on the techno side. To be honest with you, I never left MySpace. I'm still active and participating on MySpace. So let that sink in. There are communities out there that people think have gone away that haven't. So, there you go. And that's another episode I've been working on, is I'm going to log in and share MySpace with you and show you a little bit of what's been happening there, and how amazing, wonderful those communities are. Let's see, 248. I'm going to be getting closer and closer. Trying to think, I had 45 miles, and then I think I have to turn left on County Road 14. Oh yeah. I can use Google Maps, MapQuest, and all that. But let me tell you out there, there is nothing that compares to Rand McNally. My paper map can get me more places quicker, safer than MapQuest ever has. There, I said it. So, that is an essential. Especially if you're out off of a main interstate, a freeway. When you're on these country roads, if you've got something that's backed up or backed up and stopped, there's just no way you can get through. You need that paper map to figure out. Because let me tell you, up here, you got lots of spaces with no signal. Sandy Lake Dam and Recreation Area. I probably should move over here a little this way. Maybe you'll get lucky and see one of the lakes. Because you can drive all over and just see the trees, but you gotta look through the trees to see one of the many lakes we have here. You know, I've never been a fan of lake swimming. Oh, and I turned it the wrong way. We'll get it the next time. Oh yeah, no. Here we go. I think I got a good spot I can slow down. There was a wayside rest right there. But we're just gonna slow it down. I'll roll down my window. It's a wonderful 22 degrees. Now I'm gonna read a little bit about where everybody is. Oh, my phone is... Oh, no, sorry, I don't drive too fast. No, I don't speed. I was driving 60 miles an hour, 55. Yeah, I do not speed. It might look like it. Oh, don't forget you are women. Oh, honey. Oh, no, Frito. That is one thing I don't forget. Oh, honk once, please. I can honk now. How's that? Europe, the Netherlands. Ooh. Germany, from India. I love in India. Okay, here you go. Now, this is a lake. Now, what you see out here is fish houses and trucks. Look over there. That's one of the wonderful fun things to do in the winter is you come out. Look at that. And you fish. And this is a lake. See, look at all of that. Freaking awesome. This is why I live here. There, you know, it's just unbelievable. I left this place for 30 years and traveled in different ways across the country. Was a military spouse. And flip over. Coming back here gave me a home base. It gave me a place I could start. It gave me the ability to purchase a home for $16,000 and pay it off and not have to worry about where I'm going to live. Because, you know, I've had a lot of times in my life, and I know a lot of other people that currently do. They don't know if they're going to be able to have a roof over their head next month, next week, tomorrow. I know what that's like. I've spent a small amount of my time not being homeless. And the damage it did to me at the time, the struggles and the situations I put myself in as a result, I'm not going to have to go through that. The ways I can help someone else not have to go through that are part of the ways and things I'm taking my future to be able to help others. And food, you know, there are people that are actually hungry. There are people who don't know how they're going to feed themselves or their families. There are ways and licenses and things to use what's called waste food to be able to purchase or have donated food from restaurants or stores that normally would get thrown away. So I'm gonna get the appropriate license and do those things, and that way the food can be repackaged and either sold and distributed. There's two different licenses for the end part. One is for selling it to distribute it, even just selling it for $1. Because one thing is, people, you do need to pay money to be invested. You have to be invested in something to have it have worth. There's not often you get something for nothing and appreciate it. Not on a regular basis. It can become expected. You know what I'm saying? So it's small ways to keep people invested in something they could do. Maybe they could spend 1 hour reading to someone. The world, you don't have to do big things to volunteer. You don't have to do big things to help out. There are little small things we all do on day-to-day basis with our friends and with the people in our own little circles. And those are some of the circles and the things I want to support and I want to help. People like me and give me things for free all the time. I recycle, upcycle, I do, and I give it all away. What my little circle doesn't need, it goes on to the next. And through our little chicken run at Chisholm, Hibbing, Keewatin, and Nashwauk, it all pretty much stays local. And so this is what my new space. I mean, if I have somebody that has a big warehouse that they would love to donate me or help me rent, I could start getting building materials, leftovers from anybody's projects or remodeling or construction. I mean, I could really take this and make it bigger. So let's not get ahead of myself right now, because right now I just need to slow and go and learn how to share these concepts and words and things that are just, they're just me. It's who I am. It's what I'm about. And then what makes me happy. And so thank you for being here. Keep being you. Because the reality is, I can't do me without you doing you. We're all alone, but we're all alone together. So just some of the little things that are part of this community I'm creating. Before I sign off, I'm going to let you know that every breath is another chance and another choice. Get out there and live it. So, remember, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, you're important. You have value.